With an increase in new COVID-19 infections, there's been a pressing need to ramp up vaccinations. The government is looking into imposing mandatory vaccinations, but the debate continues about whether it's the right thing to do. While some corporates and large businesses support the move, can the same be said for domestic workers and other household employees? We speak now to Pinky Mashiane of the United Domestic Workers of South Africa. Pinky, thank you so much for your time. So where does the United Domestic Workers of South Africa stand when it comes to mandatory vaccinations? What's your position?
Good morning to eNCA listeners. What we are saying is that employers should speak with the domestic workers. I cannot say domestic workers must take vaccine because others after taking the vaccine they got sick and the employers are distancing themselves from them. So it is an individual's decision whether to take the vaccine or not. And there are people who are scared to take the vaccine. But as domestic workers are vulnerable workers, they are forced by employers to take the vaccine even if they are sick because they fear to lose their job. They are told to choose between employment and vaccine. So they choose to work because they need to work.
The last time we spoke, Pinky, you said that more needed to be done to educate domestic workers and gardeners, for example, in what the vaccine does to the body and their rights. Has that conversation improved in your mind?
There's still a lot that needs to be done. As we speak, there is a domestic worker who was forced by employers to take the vaccine, and now she's sick. She's no longer working because her sight is semi-paralyzed. And she didn't want to take the vaccine. She was scared from the beginning, but the employers has forced her to take it. She got sick. They left her there. And after I have intervened, they took her to the clinic. And now she's no longer working. She can't use her leg and her hand. It's a serious matter that employers have to take responsibilities. And we are also going to consult. We want to know from the Department of Labor because this happened on duty. It's an injury on duty. It's another COVID case that we have about vaccine. So there's still a lot that needs to be done, and for employers to sit down with their domestic workers and speak with them as human beings who have rights, who have constitutional rights, and not to force them in this manner. When they get sick, then they distance themselves from that. They have to take responsibility.
Pinky, the individual that you speak of, that you're saying was vaccinated and was paralyzed, and I'm sure it must be horrific for him or her. Are we 100% positive that this was as a result of vaccination?
Yes, because she was not experiencing the same thing until she took the vaccine. She said after taking the first dose, her arm was cold. When they gave her the second dose, her arm was cold, and she told the sister that my arm is not okay, it's feeling cold. The sister said, no, it's you're paralyzed because of that. Yeah.
Pinky, so in general, are you saying you are not encouraging domestic workers to get the vaccine?
No, I'm not saying I'm not encouraging domestic workers to take the vaccine. Domestic workers can decide what's good for them, and it's everywhere. Even the president is saying domestic workers who have illnesses, who are sick, they must speak with their employers. Employers have no right to decide for domestic workers to take the vaccine. They can advise them and explain to them the necessity and the importance of the vaccine in everybody. We all want to be safe during this time of COVID. But the problem is when the domestic worker gets sick, no one is taking responsibility. I'm not saying they must take the vaccine. They have to take the vaccine for them to be safe, but it is an individual decision to do that.
All right. What's being done to inform the domestic workers about the vaccination laws? How are they getting that information?
They get information, you all get information from TV, and there's a lot of incorrect information around social media. So we continue to listen to TV and how COVID is at this point and what are the precautions and still taking the PPEs. We all get that information that we see every day in the TV and in the news.
All right, Pinky, we thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining us. Pinky Mashiane of the United Domestic Workers of South Africa.